I have had classes that were so low, so academically deficient that I cried. And we know why kids drop out. We know why kids don't learn. It's either poverty, low attendance, negative peer influences. We know why. But one of the things that we never discuss, or we rarely discuss, is the value and importance of human connection, relationships.
It is a symptom of the sick and fractured system of education.
Raise your hand if you've seen a rat or a mouse in this school. We're in Detroit, where they say the city's making a comeback after filing for bankruptcy in 2013. But the public school system is still in major crisis. We're talking underperforming and crumbling schools and $3.5 billion in debt.
It's raining and snowing right inside of the school, and it's created these large humps in the floor, literally. All they're limited to is walking the halls.
We need staff. We need humans to actually apply and become employees of Detroit Public Schools to teach and to work with our students. That's what we really need.
Is there any incentive for them to do that?
I hate to say no.
No incentive?
No monetary incentive. The incentive would be the children.
I would say on a national level, there's too much politics involved in public education. There's too much money tied to policies and ideas about what education should be and how education should happen. There's not a lot of actual educators in that conversation, which I find extremely problematic.
If you look at the education system, the highest need students usually have the smallest amount of resources.
It is difficult, especially when you teach in communities of color or low-income communities. They bring a lot of trauma into the room.
If you have students arriving every day and their minds are elsewhere, they don't know where they're going to sleep at night, they're cold, they're hungry, their stomachs are growling, across the board, generally, they're not going to thrive.
You know, I think that it's as important to guide students through an education as it is to help someone in the hospital who's sick or uphold the law in a courtroom.
Somebody's class is the next bioscientist. In somebody's class, it's the next discoverer. It's so important. Room is teaching to our future. It's teaching to the hope of a nation. It's teaching to the potential of a world. Might we value that more as a society? Might we value that more?
Oh, the best part? Where do I begin?
Oh, the kids, right? The students, the young adults. They're the best part of the job.
I wouldn't give it up for the world. It's the best choice I ever made was to be an 8th grade English teacher.
For every teacher, it's when you see that spark, when you see a student engage, they're doing something that they love and they're good at it and they feel confident. They feel like they found their place in the world. That's my favorite part.
It is inherently unfair and unjust that these key elements to success are literary resources, which are so easily given, are not accessible to everybody.
So I really think books for a benefit at its core is fundamentally important because a lot of students face many different kinds of barriers to their education that prevent them from fully experiencing their middle school or their elementary school years.
The lack of resources really takes away from the kids' learning opportunities, and it hurts them not only in the present but also in the future.
I think it's really important to get these kids a book or a place to study or just into reading in general, because once you open that door to reading books or developing interest in certain topics, that really develops a kid's mind and it opens them up to even more educational and academic exploration. And I think it's really important to do at such a young age because you're promoting this way of thinking and this enthusiasm for learning, which is going to be really important for them growing up.
I think giving the book is like laying a foundation. A book is like a brick that you use to build a house. It's one step in laying a foundation that will allow kids to grow from.
When you're from a small town or you come from a small school or you're in a place where you have limited opportunity to explore beyond your boundaries, those books are an opportunity for you to learn and to acquire knowledge about places and people that you might not have encountered. We can give people a laptop or we can give people tutors or mentors, but I think at its core, reading is a different and unique experience for everyone. And in that, when you find a book you read, it's better than anything you can give someone.
We have sort of this organization that is both deeply rooted in campus, but also deeply rooted in community. And I think, the future goal is to keep fostering that growth.
And I think now more than ever, I think Books for a Benefit could be a real positive, motivational, driving force in education reform.
How powerful would our world be if we had kids who were not afraid to take risks, who were not afraid to think, and who had a champion? Every child deserves a champion, an adult who will never give up on them, who understands the power of connection and insists that they become the best that they can possibly be.